Welcome back, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, to Brownlow Books. It is review time, and I have a bit of a different one for you this time. I read a choose-your-own-adventure book. Not that it's a, traditional classic choose-your-own-adventure book. It is a modern kind of choose-your-own-adventure book, but, very old at the same time. Because it's fucking Shakespeare. So this is Romeo and or Juliet, a choosable path adventure by Ryan North. This has a lot of artists that worked on this, okay? There is, lots of... Well, I wasn't there. There's lots of illustrations, okay? So as I said, it is choosable path. You can be Romeo, you can be Juliet, you can be Romeo and Juliet. You can be the nurse. Twice in here, there is, a different play. There's other plays in here that you can also play. It's fun, okay? It is just a fun little thing to have happen. We read it for our book club, so, we did several each and, recorded or tried to remember, what our path was that we chose. And, there was overlap, but there was also, 100 different endings in this, so, you have a breadth of things that you can deal with, right? There is a way, by following the little hearts on the choices, to do it the Shakespeare way. Obviously, it's not fully written Shakespeare, it's adapted, but with some direct quotes in it too, still sometimes, so, fun. But yeah, there's 100 different endings. You can do all kinds of crazy ass things. It is fun. It has a high rereadability. Like I said, 100 different endings. It was for book club. One of the girls was like, I'm going to do every path, and I'm going to see where they all end up. And I was just like, girl, you crazy. But she did a fair amount of them before getting, I don't know, bored, but overburdened. I don't know. She did a fair amount. And so there are a lot of paths that, diverge and then come back to the same place with then, the same ending or last couple choices kind of thing. So it's very interesting. You can see here, it's some kind of crazy killer robot. This book can go off the rails with your choices, okay? You can have something that's much more of a traditional ending. You can have something that is batshit insane. You can have something where everyone's dead. You can have something where no one's dead. We know Romeo and Juliet, right? High probability that everyone's dead. Everyone but the goddamn friar, am I right? Okay, so it was fun. I mean, I read it the Shakespeare way first. It unlocks a special place that you can go and play, is it Rosalind or Rosalind? I honestly don't know. You can go and you can play her as a private investigator. It's really fun, but you do have to get to the end of, the actual Shakespeare way to do it. And then, I did 2 as Juliet and 1 as Romeo, and I was just like, this is crazy. This is crazy that I didn't end up with endings that my friends ended up with, even though we made similar choices early on. It just kind of, branched out, diverged, and we were like, whoa. But yeah, it's fun. It has a high rereadability, so, I've marked it as read on my Goodreads, but I'm like, I don't know. I could come back to this and be like, let's just see what happens this time. There is a lot to do in this book, right? I went through and I read all of the endings because I was like, I need to know. And I was just, reading some of them and I'm like, how the fuck do I get to this? Literally, how the fuck do I get to killer robots in Verona? And then there was the one that was very reminiscent of, Back to the Future. And, there's ones that lead to other plays. And you're just kind of like, what is that guy doing here? This isn't his play. It's just really fun. I recommend it if you're, a fan of the Choose Your Own Adventure books when you were a kid. I loved them. I tried to do a book report on one and got told that was not appropriate. I'm like, I recorded all my choices, and they're like, I don't care. And I'm like, fine. Little grade 2 rebellion of Charlotte. Yep. So, my cat fucking bit this book. What? crazy little butts. What was I going to say? No idea. It was fun. There was a lot of artists involved. That was really nice. And from what I understand, there is a Hamlet version that can actually be played as a Steam game. I think it was on Steam. So it actually can be like played as a game and like make it go through. So like, reference to that. I have the paper version, but one of our friends was reading as an ebook, and so it had like the links of wherever she needed to go. Which I was like, that's convenient, because how the hell are you gonna flip through an ebook back and forth that many times? Right? And I was like, that sounds much more convenient. Except that I'm the kind of person who will see two choices, flip to both of those choices, and see which one has the more choices to go with. So I was like, every once in a while, I'm like, I'll just go back a few. And that's the benefit of writing down what you're doing. So yeah, it's good fun, high rereadability, good illustrations, fun illustrations. There's a couple that I'm just like, this is batshit insane and I love it. So yeah, I recommend if you're a fan of like this kind of thing. Some people don't like it. Some people just want to sit down and, you know, read straight through, and that's fine. This is not that kind of book. It tells you not to do that. And like the second one, it's like, don't do that. And I'm like, but I want to. Part of me really wanted to just sit down and read it as if it was a book and just like go straight through and have nothing make sense but read everything that was involved. That would have been insane. So I did not do it. But yeah, I recommend. I enjoyed it. It was a fun twist on Shakespeare, you know? Especially in a play where two teenagers, you know, fall in love and then everyone's dead 3 days later. All right. Thanks for hanging out. I will see you around next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe.